All right, Shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakha Kodash. I want to say double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well and push out this word at a high frequency. Peace, safety, and much love to the elect members laboring around the four corners of the earth, giving all diligence to make the calling of election sure. All right, Shalom. All right, this lesson is going to be entitled Pray for Spiritual Needs and Not Carnal Wants. I'm on the way to work, got an in transit going, and as I woke up this morning, I was basically thinking about how, going into the time of tribulation and Jacob's trouble and the looming destruction ahead of us, our prayer should be centered or geared around, first and foremost, praise and honoring the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and making our supplications for spiritual enhancement, man. For spiritual growth and for spiritual necessities that our spirit is going to need to endure through the afflictions and endure through the chaos and the anarchy and the mass death that's going to hit the world. So in the spirit, that should be what our spirit should be yearning for. You shouldn't be asking the Lord for a carnal increase, or women and money and different elaborate cars and clothes and things of that nature. The Lord said those are the chief things of life. He's pretty much going to provide that for you. But what we need to be praying for is more moral enhancement. Whether it's patience, whether it's faith, integrity, endurance, understanding, wisdom, knowledge, what's some more? Discretion, equity, justice. These should be a lot of good prayers, or key things that we should be making our petition to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai to send into our spirit. All right, because the faint-hearted and the feeble knees is not going to be able to last in the day of tribulation and in the time of trouble. In the time when you're seeing thousands upon millions upon hundreds of millions of people being put to death pretty much at the same time. All right, when we start to behold these things, we got to have a strong spirit, in order to not lose it and not panic and not forsake Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai in that day. We got to be properly rooted and grounded, like it tells you that in Colossians, the 2nd chapter. So we have to be rooted and built up in the spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And it's going to take moral enhancement, so to speak. Spiritual enhancement in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. So, I just want to put that out there for the Akim, that these is what our prayer should be centered around. And as we see the day approaching, we should be praying a whole hell of a lot more too. We should be praying a whole lot more, as we see these prophecies starting to unfold and take place right before our eyes. Our prayers should be going up a lot more frequently, because we don't know the day nor the hour, and the Lord could catch us by surprise. So, while we in that grace period, we have to do what? We have to, use the grace. We have to use the grace in order to, for the Lord to pardon us from the coming, the coming judgment of the wicked. All right. Like, for instance, you had King Solomon. When King Solomon became the king, he prayed what? He prayed for the Lord to give him the spirit of a wise king, so that he could judge the people. He didn't pray for 700 wives and 300 concubines and all of that. He prayed for wisdom. He prayed for understanding, so that he could judge the people. The same thing with Elisha. He prayed to the Lord to ask the Lord to give him a double portion of Elijah's spirit, man. So us brothers that's in the faith, man, we gotta pray for ourselves in the spiritual form. For instance, if you see that you lacking in a certain area, if you see that you're not where you want to be in a certain area in the spirit, you have to examine yourself first and foremost. And you have to come to the conclusion, which is going to take humility, You have to come to the conclusion that my spirit is lacking in this area. And you have to go to the Lord and ask the Lord to take that spirit away from you. All right? Because if not, that could very well get in the way of your salvation. Because what a demon does, a demon is the opposite of righteous. You know, a wicked spirit is pretty much the opposite of a righteous spirit. So what the wicked spirit that's on you is trying to do is get you to lose your crown, to throw you off the path, you know. So you have to examine that. You have to examine your own spirit. You have to look at yourself and see, do you have any character flaws or moral deficiencies, spiritual, lacking in the spiritual matter. And you got to go to the Lord and ask the Lord to take that spirit away from you. And that's where self-examination comes from, man. You know, so that you won't be a reprobate. If you can't judge yourself, you can't judge anybody else, you know. So yeah, brothers, just meditate upon that. I'm driving, so I couldn't get precepts, but I quoted a few, like the scriptures tell you in what is that, Ecclesiastes 35 and 17. It says the prayer of the righteous availeth much. It pierces the clouds. So like you say, the righteous prayer pierces the clouds, and he will not hold his peace till the Lord bring judgment. Something to that effect. So if we believe in these words, if we believe in the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, and we call on that name, when we call on that name, we have to pray and ask the Lord to strengthen our spirit and give us the spirit that we need to endure, and make it all the way to the end, and pray that you be not condemned with the wicked, So with that, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, B'Hashem Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors once again to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, safety, and much love to the elect men, women, and children. Shalom.